lost in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good evening, everyone. I think this one's kind of important, so I am sharing it everywhere, anywhere that any group that will allow me to share. There's I see a lot of people having a hard time with the holidays, and so I thought I'd come on here and share some of my experience, strength, and hope, and how we can use some of this literature, and maybe try and approach this with a different view. Maybe this is your first holiday sober, man, and if it is, good job, good job. I'm proud of you. The fact that you even try uh, gains respect in my book immediately. So the website has changed again. It was too confusing, man. It was too confusing. Too many clicks. So I dumbed the whole thing down. There's the homepage and the podcast. That's it. So people can at least find the podcast. That's the most important thing. Trudgecast is being taken down. I'm simplifying things. Website took me most of the day, even just do that. Hi, Ingrid. Good to see you. There is a reading for this. It's going to be in the 12 by 12, Tradition 4, page 146. All right. That's where I'm going to be reading from today or this evening. Ah. Isn't it amazing what showers can do? Ah, that's so good. And I got my hair cut. Feeling good. This is the way. Okay. This is the way. I was actually going to call it that, but I don't think anybody would show up. Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris. Chris can give us some good suggestions for getting through the holidays. He's been around for a little while, right? Holidays can be tough. I got to go put on my wedding ring. I feel naked without it. My ring slips off too easy, so I don't wear it when I shower or go to bed. So, all right. Now, I'm already in my PJs. I'm ready to go ahead and wrap this day up. But Rule 62.
Powering off.
And with the holidays, I think this kind of fits. And maybe we can take a different look at it. We've been talking about the holidays in our meetings. I guess my wife is here. Hi, babe. So let's go ahead and get started. Right? Rule 62. And a lot of us already know what Rule 62 is, but what a great reminder and what a great excuse to talk about Tradition 4. Each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. Now, this can be pretty tough sometimes. It can. Each group is autonomous and they can pretty much run it how they want. If they don't want people with drug addiction in there and that's what they vote on, now I'm not going to go along with something like that. An open meeting for me is an open meeting and anyone can join. So, but I get why sometimes that we need to have closed meetings. Let's see. What's some good reasons? Doctors, judges, LGBTQ, okay, men's meetings, women's meetings, okay. These are all closed meetings to those particular types of alcoholics, okay? An open meeting anyone can attend, and it shouldn't have that many rules, okay? I even tried to apply the no newcomers talking for 2 weeks at our meetings, and Amber's like, Dion, no, they're speaking, okay? I'm not the one in control of all this. And the thing is, if I come up with an idea and Amber's not on board, we don't do it. Okay, I got to keep myself in check. Anyway, let's get going. Autonomy is a $10 word. No, it's not. It's an $8 word. But in relation to us, it means very simply that every AA group can manage its affairs exactly as it pleases, except when AA as a whole is threatened. Comes now the same question raised in Tradition 1. Isn't such liberty foolishly dangerous? Yes and no, but for the most part, no. Okay. This is why understanding the traditions is so important. Okay. If you want to go to your home group and make some kind of change, you best know your traditions. Okay. All the great ideas to change AA have happened. It won't work. Okay. So let's learn from their experience, please. Over the years, every conceivable deviation from our 12 steps and traditions has been tried. It's already been tried, folks. Okay. There are no new ideas. I'm sorry, they're gone. Okay. That was sure to be, since we are so largely a band of ego driven individuals, children of chaos. We have definitely played with every brand of fire, only to emerge unharmed, we think, wiser. These very deviations create a vast process of trial and error, which, under the grace of God, has brought us to where we stand today. When AA's traditions were first published in 1946, we have become sure that an AA group could stand almost any amount of battering, and it's true. I've seen a lot of stuff happen in groups. I've seen people try, and I am Groot, jerk. Virgo always trying to throw me off. I didn't bring my talking juice. I am Groot, you dork. Oh, I am Groot. Okay. We saw that the group, exactly like the individual, must eventually conform to whatever tested principles would guarantee survival. We had discovered that there was perfect safety in the process of trial and error. So confident of this had we become that the original statement of the AA tradition carried this significant sentence. Okay, I love this. Any 2 or 3 alcoholics gathered together sobriety may call themselves an AA group, provided that as a group they have no other affiliation. Okay, we're having a group right now. Okay, there's at least 2 alcoholics here. Shannon, I love you, but you don't count. That's what you do. Because anybody, right? Because my wife doesn't drink, so why not? This meant, of course, that we have been given the courage to declare that each AA group, an individual entity, strictly reliant on its own conscience as a guide to action. In charting this enormous expanse of freedom, we found it necessary to post only 2 storm signals. Okay? It's 2 storm signals. A group ought not do anything which would greatly injure AA as a whole, nor ought to affiliate itself with anything or anybody else. Okay. So in other words, I have my club, and what the club does is it supports an area for people to have meetings. Then that meeting pays for their space. So they're going to give up 20% of it or whatever. And that's going to go directly to the church in this case, right? Because we got to pay our rent. The club is a separate entity that is there available for anybody else that wants to come in. Okay? So they are separate, but they complement each other. Okay? It's just a place for them to go. So Club Trudge and the meetings are different. And I think maybe we should call one of the meetings Rule 62. I think that's a great idea. All right. There would be real danger should we commence to call some groups wet, others dry, still others Republican or communist, and yet others Catholic or Protestant. In other words, you cannot have an AA group and declare it Catholic, Christian, Buddha. No. That is an affiliation. No outside literature in the meetings. That's why it's important. Okay. If we're going to read out of the Bible, then all the other books are on the table too. So you watch your Bible quotes in AA, man. Okay. They don't really belong there. I'm not saying there's something wrong with the Bible. There isn't. The AA group would have to stick to its course or be hopelessly lost. Sobriety had to be its sole objective. Okay. Like whenever Amber and I get together about the meetings or whatever, we're talking about the newcomer. We're deciding what's best for the newcomer, not us. We have our sobriety. We have our stuff. Okay. We don't need to worry about that part. Okay. And we're doing a very good job at it, by the way. Amber, while I'm remembering this, I've been meaning to tell you this for a few days. But the other thing we're going to do is whenever there's a big word or whatever, we're going to put the definition up on the television through Zoom in the chat. All right. We're going to do little things like that to help everybody, because nobody wants to say, what does that word mean? People have a hard time with that. So I'm going to go ahead and appease it, man. Let's take care of it, right? Sobriety had, in all other respects, there was perfect freedom of will and action. Okay. Every group had the right to be wrong. The fourth tradition is the 10th step. Gives you the right to be wrong. Okay. But if you read this, you'll find that there will be, you can avoid mistakes by reading the traditions. Okay. When AA was still young, lots of eager groups were forming in a town we'll call Middleton. A real crackerjack had started up. The townspeople were hot as firecrackers about it. It's great stuff. Stargazing, the elders dream of innovations. Now, I want you to listen to this because it sounds a lot like recovery coaching and sober living. Listen to this. Stargazing, they figured the town needed a great big alcoholic center, a kind of pilot plant AA groups could duplicate everywhere. Everybody's still trying to do this. Okay, we call it a cookie cutter. Okay, that's what we call it in business. Beginning on the ground floor, there would be a club. In the second story, they would sober up drunks and hand them currency for their back debts. The third deck would house an educational project. Quite not controversial, of course. I already see the shit show, right? Number one, we're dealing with money already. Money and AA don't mix. They don't mix, man. Okay? That's like oil and water. Okay? And I've heard people charging to do fifth steps. If I ever come across one of those people, I hope I have bail money. So anyway, in imagination, the gleaming center was to go up several stories more, but 3 would do for a start. This would take a lot of money. There's number one problem. Other people's money. Believe it or not, wealthy townsfolk bought the idea. Do you know how much money I have put into opening the club? Nothing. It was given to me. Okay? No money. No money. We're doing a service. Okay? There were, though, a few conservative dissenters among the alcoholics. They wrote the foundation's AA quarters in New York, wanting to know about this sort of streamlining. They understood that the elders, just to nail things down for good, were about to apply to the foundation for a charter. We don't do charters. These few were disturbed and skeptical. Of course, there was a promoter in the deal, a super promoter. By his eloquence, he allayed all fears, despite advice from the foundation that it could issue no charter and that ventures which mixed an AA group with medication and education had come to sticky ends elsewhere. Okay. Heck, at one point, Dr. Silkworth went to Bill and wanted to hire him, and he turned the job down for this reason. Okay. He wanted Bill to come in and share his experience, strength, and hope. In other words, they wanted to pay him to 12th step, and he was going to take it until he went to the group and they said, no, you can't do that. And he was like, you're right, I can't. Okay. To make things safer, The promoter organized 3 corporations and became president of them all. See, if the program is not simple, it's not the program. And you can see how it's going to get very unsimple very, very quickly. Freshly painted, the new center shone. The warmth of it spread all through the town. Soon things began to hum. To ensure foolproof continuous operation, 61 rules and regulations were adopted. 61 rules? Do you know how many rules there are in AA? There's none. Actually, there's one. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. Okay. I'm sure I'll still be talking when you get back. Thank you. But alas, the bright scene was not long in darkening. Confusion replaced serenity. It was found that some drunks yearned for education but doubted if they were alcoholic. See, you got to make the admission first. Got to make the admission first. Okay, we don't come skipping into this fucking program. It doesn't work that way. Okay? The personality defects of others could be cured with maybe a loan. Some were club-minded, but it was just a question of taking care of the lonely hearts. No, you're Groot. Sometimes the swarming applicants would go for all 3 floors. Some would start at the top and come through to the bottom, becoming club members. Others starting in the club, pitched on a binge, were hospitalized, then graduated to education on the 3rd floor. It was a beehive of activity, all right, but unlike a beehive, it was confusion compounded. Okay. So this is why these RCOs and these other people and sober livings and stuff like that, see, they are not accountable. They are not regulated. Okay. And they do whatever the fuck they want to. They do whatever. And this is what it turns into right here. Okay. This turns into horrible, horrible things. It kills people. Okay. I mean, we're having a lot of fun with this, but when it comes down to it, they were fucking killing people. All right. An AA group, as such, simply couldn't handle this sort of project. All too late, that was discovered. Then came the inevitable explosion, something that day like the boiler burst in Wombly's clapboard factory. By the way, that is a story, but I don't know it. A chill, choke damp of fear and frustration fell over the group. Yeah, failed. Okay. This is why we have the traditions. If we do not heed what they did in the beginning, we are doomed to repeat it. Okay. So when I say that we have a bunch of unhealed alcoholics running around there being recovery coaches, you see what I'm saying. Right? When that lifted, a wonderful thing happened. Yeah. That's what's great about AA and what's great about God is we're still going to get something out of it. Right? The head promoter wrote the foundation office. He said he'd wish he'd paid some attention to the AA experience. Then he did something else that was to become an AA classic. It all went on a little card about golf score size. The cover read, Middleton Group Number 1, Rule 62. Once the card was unfolded, a single pungent sentence leaped to the eye. Don't take yourself too damn seriously. There it is. Rule 62. There's another paragraph here. Okay. Don't take yourself so seriously. And that's what you're going to need to do for the holidays. You're going to need to not take yourself so seriously. Get to some if you're not going to be with family, get to some meetings. Okay. But try and enjoy the day. Try and remember for years, we ran around causing confusion. And now we can cause harmony. And that is now our job, even if you're a week sober. Okay. Thus, it was that under tradition 4, an AA group had exercised its right to be wrong. Moreover, it had performed a great service for Alcoholics Anonymous because it had been humbly willing to apply the lessons it learned. It had picked itself up with a laugh and gone on to better things. Even the chief architect standing in the ruins of his dream could laugh at himself, and that is the very acme of humility. Right? The very acme. Who paid the people back, though? That's what I want to know. Super promoter, did you pay the people back? All right. So it can be very, very hard not to take ourselves seriously. I mean, we've been living with ourselves for so long. So, Rule 62, just remember Rule 62. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. All right. It's going to be it. I'm going to go play some Borderlands. That's right. I got to go shoot things in the head. So, actually, it's my decompression. All right. Thank you. I love you all a lot. Thank you for being here. Peace out and have a day. Bye-bye.